not
Your
saying.
Prime Minister did say, and I quote, no Gaza ceasefire until Israel's war aims are achieved. What is the stomach for how much collateral damage is acceptable for those goals to be achieved?
I don't know what is collateral damage and how much. I think the goals have to be achieved. Collateral damage we are trying to minimize anyhow. So it's not that there is a certain point you say from here on we don't continue. We're trying anyhow to minimize. Our biggest problem is, first of all, that Gaza is the most dense populated area in the world. Secondly, Hamas for years, it didn't start now, had the tactic of like doing something to Israel, like biting, pinching Israel and running back to hide behind civilian population, or in this case, in the tunnels. They do that because they know that we are much, much stronger. And their aim, from their point of view, any Palestinian dying is someone else that creates pressure on Israel to stop the war. That's what they are aiming at doing. We, first of all, being a democratic, liberal state, law-abiding, we are trying to minimize, but also beyond all these elements, it's also our interest to minimize, because the more collateral damage there is, the more pressure there is in Israel to stop.
In Israel or on Israel?
On Israel. In Israel also, inside too. There are also voices, but mostly international community on Israel. So we have conflicting interests here, while ridiculously we have the interest of protecting the Palestinian population, and they have the interest of not protecting them, on the contrary, sacrificing them.
You said that Israel is trying to minimize collateral damage as much as possible. The recent strikes a few days ago, the Israelis were trying to pinpoint Mohammed Daif, the person that I hope I got the pronunciation right, the Hamas commander,
Mohammed Daif,
Daif, okay, trying to get him. But the collateral damage was a lot of loss of innocent civilians and babies, etc. And there's no confirmation that these high-value targets were taken out. So where do you draw the line that, there has to be proportionality and precaution when you go out with such strikes?
No. So first of all, not only about this attack in general, the only figures that we get of dead are the figures given by the so-called Ministry of Health of Hamas in Gaza. So take into account what I said before, that they have an interest in inflating numbers. Another element that is very important to notice is the fact that for them, everyone are civilians. They never differentiate between terrorists or fighters, whatever you call them, and between civilians. So from their point of view, all the dead are civilians. And there was a big group around Mohammed Daif and someone who is at the level of colonel there, that the two of them were targeted, not only Mohammed Daif. So there were bodyguards and others. I'm not sure that the talk of the collateral damage of children is accurate. I will just remind you that in the beginning of the war, they tried to frame Israel for attacking a hospital, which afterwards we found out it was misfired.
The Al-Shifa hospital.
No, another hospital, a smaller one. That they afterwards we found out that it was a misfired rocket of their own. But it took them 1 hour to say. I think the number was 471 dead. So first of all, it did not hit the hospital. The misfired rocket, it hit the parking lot. There were maybe a few dead, maybe 10 people. But they have an interest in coming out immediately. They counted 471 non-existing bodies in 1 hour. So the figures there are played with, and we have to take it into account. We are trying to minimize collateral damage. Mohammed Daif escaped 4, 5, 6 times that we tried to kill him over the years. So we had to make sure that this time, and especially after October 7, it's the final one, because he is the chief of staff, really, of Hamas in a way, and the symbol of what happened in October 7. And I think that also from the practical capacity that he has, but also from the symbolic side that he has, we have to make clear that it's like Osama bin Laden. People like that cannot live in our world. No way. And I think the point, hopefully, is dead, and the point is made very clearly on this.
Click here to watch the full episode.